Hi, I'm Natalie, and today we have phrasal verbs. I will explain you what phrasal verb is. I will give you 5 tips how to learn phrasal verbs, and together we will learn 10 of them. It's not so hard, because mostly my students look at me like, oh, phrasal verbs, no, my God, that's so hard. No, it's not hard indeed. We just have to understand. I always say that learning is not good in English. Understanding, that's the way out. So, what is a phrasal verb? You know? Yeah, what is it? Right, that's it. It's a verb and it's a preposition. In English, we have a lot of prepositions. It makes understanding a little bit difficult. But let's see, we have phrasal verbs that are easy to guess, and we have phrasal verbs that are hard to guess or difficult to guess. So if you face phrasal verbs like look back, there is somebody behind you. Oh! Yeah, look back, that's clear. If you have come back, it's also clear. Come back home. I want you to come back home as soon as possible. Put on. Again, that's clear. You put on your shirt, you put on your jacket, whatever, your dress, you put it on. Yeah, you take it off, you put it on. The context helps you a lot. The context can also help you to guess the meaning of the word turn round. Say turn round. Turn round. You know, turn, so turn around is not a problem. As well as be back, yeah?
I'll be back.
You know, that's the movie. So if you have look back and it's clear, look forward to. Look forward to. What is look forward to? Or come back, or say come up with. Come up with. Huh? What is that? Put on and put up with. Again, not clear. Just like turn out, be over, let down. These are just my examples to show you the principle, yeah, the way it works. And these phrasal verbs are hard to guess. Even having the context, you may guess, but you may have, you know, some doubts. So practically you have to know it for sure. And the problem is also, I guess that's the problem you have, when you face phrasal verbs that are easy to guess, you practically use them. Yeah, you say look back. There is no equivalent for this phrasal verb to use. But when you have phrasal verbs that are hard to guess and phrasal verbs you have to know, you know very simple equivalents for these phrasal verbs. And what to do? You don't use these phrasal verbs. These are just examples. We start using equivalents. So now let's see what are the possible ways of learning phrasal verbs. And my tip number 1 is make true examples or situations about you. Let's see how it works. My first phrasal verb is look forward to. And these are the examples. I made examples true about me, so I can understand them clearly and it helps me. I'm looking forward to the weekend. I work hard, so I'm looking forward to the weekend because at the weekend I may have a rest. That's very important for me. So I can say that I'm waiting for the weekend impatiently. It's something I would like to have so much. So look forward to means wait for something impatiently, right? I have one more example. Let's have a look at it. I'm looking forward to meeting my friends. I haven't seen my friends for a long time because of the lockdown period. So I'm looking forward to, but look, now it's not something or somebody, it's meeting. So I can also say look forward to plus gerund. Something, that is the first example, the weekend, or look forward to plus gerund, to meeting, right? Gerund, that's a verb and ing ending. So I'm looking forward to meeting my friends. I'm really waiting for meeting my friends impatiently, with all my heart. I miss my friends a lot. So that's what look forward to. And if you know the meaning, try to avoid using wait. If not, only it's neutral. Because wait is very neutral. I'm waiting for you, yeah? But I can wait a person and I can look forward to meeting him or her. The difference is I do that impatiently. I really wish it with all my heart. That's the difference. Okay, let's move on. Next phrasal verb is look after. Look after. I love looking after children. What does that mean? Looking after children. Or I've never looked after pets. Dogs, cats, budgies, or hamsters. That means take care. Take care of somebody or take care of something. So when you use look after, it's always somebody or something. That's very important. Clear? I guess so. So if you learn this phrasal verb, make up a true example about you. If you always look after your nieces or nephews, just say, I always look after my nieces, or I always look after my nephew. The example should be clear to you, okay? You should clearly understand what you mean. At least you should have a niece or a nephew. Let's move on. That's the next phrasal verb, look up. And it may be look up at the sky. Why not? But look up has some more meanings, and one of the meanings I would like to explain you today, which I use a lot during the classes, is look up like I don't remember the meaning of this word. So I look it up in the dictionary or on the internet. Yeah, Google. Hey Google. What does that mean? That means that I'm going to find out the meaning of the word, mostly. So we have, I don't remember the meaning of this word. I will find it out in the dictionary. I will look it up. I want to draw your attention to the pronoun. So we say, I look it up. I used it to show you that you can use it in between here easily. This phrasal verb is separable, right? You can say look it up. Not all phrasal verbs are separable. Look up this word. We can also use it after it, like look up something, yeah? Look up this word in the dictionary. So I don't remember the meaning. I will look up the meaning of this word in the dictionary. This phrasal verb I use a lot during the classes. So if you really want to know it, if you want to start using it, just think of the words you don't remember or you don't know and start using. Let's say just give me a second, I'll look it up on the internet, or just give me a second, I'll look it up in the dictionary. That helps a lot. So you start using it and you remember this phrasal verb. All my students know look up. I use it a lot, really. Okay, let's move on. So let's have a look at this phrasal verb. Come up with. Up with. Again, not quite clear what it means. Let's have a look at example. The context always helps, especially with phrasal verbs. I've just come up with a brilliant idea. It's, yeah, that's the idea. See, I've just come up with a great idea. I've come up with as that something appears in your mind, you know, and it happens suddenly. So when you say, I've come up with a brilliant idea, that means I was actually struggling what to say, yeah, or what to do, and here we go, inspiration, whatever. So I've come up with a great idea. You create this idea, you make it. During my classes, I always use this phrasal verb. So I say like, oh, I've come up with a great plan. Let's try it out, yeah? The more you use your own examples, the more you feel them. Okay, let's move on. And our next phrasal verb is put up with. I'll never put up with her behavior. Her behavior is so awful, so terrible, so I will never put up with it. Yeah? Put up with is equal to accept or close your eyes to something, like you don't notice it and you pretend nothing happens. That's the problem again. It's easier to use equivalents instead of put up with. And you may have your own examples. Like you have a friend who's always late. Let's say, I'm not going to put up with it. He's always late, yeah? So, put up with is normally used with something again. Something. I'm ready to put up with the weather in St. Petersburg. I love this city. What about you? Think. And here we go, let's move on. One of my favorite phrasal verbs we can start using right now is put off. I use it a lot and I teach my students to do that when we text, you know, when we send messages to each other. And let's have a look at the example. Never put off till tomorrow what can be done today. What it means: never postpone. Postpone means don't do that another time or another day. Do it the day or the time you have planned. Yeah. Sometimes I have classes with my students in the evening, and when they are very busy with their work, they text me, Natalie, can we put off our class till tomorrow, or till Saturday, or till Wednesday? So that helps a lot. In this case, it helps a lot. And you can see the practical use of this phrasal verb. And right now, if you have a pen friend, or if you have your friends, you text in English, so you can start using it right now. You see, it's very useful one. This can be a great motivating poster. So if you print it and put it above your desk, it's gonna be never put off till tomorrow what can be done today. Cool. This is one more phrasal verb for you to remember. Turn out can be quite confusing, right? Let's look at the example. It turned out he was right. Or you can also say he turned out to be right. Turned out means that it happened unexpectedly for you, first of all. You did not expect it. You didn't expect him to be right. You were sure he was wrong, but turned out is always about but moment. So I thought this way, but it turned out it was another way. That's about turned out. He turned out to be right. What is the situation? For example, I have a friend, he knows all the characters really very, very well. And every time we watch a movie, we always argue, like, who is the character, this guy or that one. And in one of the movies, we faced a guy, he looked like Matt Damon. And my friend said, that's Matt Damon, that's for sure. I said, no, that's another actor, because his face didn't look exactly like Matt Damon's. But it turned out he was right. So it was really Matt Damon, and now I owe money to my friend. My next example is a phrasal verb turn up and turn down. A very useful one, especially when you are traveling or you're in a taxi and the music is so loud. So let's have a look at the example. Could you please turn down the music? It's so loud. Turn down the music, right? Normally, we know the phrasal verbs like turn on and turn off. And most of my students are really confused which verb to use when you like the music, but it's too loud. Actually, you don't mind listening to it. You don't want the driver to turn it off, because turn off is when you can hear no music at all. And turn up and turn down are perfect phrasal verbs for this situation. So what you do is you say, could you please turn it down? Or vice versa. If you are in a car, maybe your friend's car, and the music is playing but very quietly, but you love that track and you would like to enjoy it. So you ask your friend, well, please turn it up. It's a great song, or my favorite song. So turn up or turn down means to make it, and it I mean the sound, yeah? To make the sound a bit louder, that is up, or quieter, that is down. Okay. Let's go ahead. Be over. Be over is a perfect phrasal verb when you don't really feel like using finish. Look at this. The party was over, so everybody left. The party finished. So that's the good way to use a phrasal verb to show your good level of English. It was over. The party was over. Try to start using this phrasal verb, yeah? It was over. To be over has no something or somebody, and you can separate it. So it's one of the phrasal verbs which you use with no object. And the last phrasal verb for today I would like to explain you is let somebody down. It's always somebody here. So you can say I won't let you down, never, or I will never let you down. What does it mean? That means I won't fail you. For example, maybe I promised somebody to keep a secret, and by chance I broke my promise and chatted with somebody. So I opened the secret and I let this person down, yeah? I let my friend down, or I let somebody down. So let down is quite negative, and it means fail, yeah? At the very beginning of the video, I promised to teach you how to remember the phrasal verbs. So here are my tips. Tip number 1 is make true examples, true about you. Think of real situations happening with you. When you apply English to you, you remember it better. Because when you talk to me, to your friends, to your relatives, you have emotions, and these emotions help you a lot to remember English words, phrasal verbs, not exceptions. My tip number 2 is stop using simple equivalents. If you know a phrasal verb, but your mind is a tricky thing, you know, it's very lazy. And the first impulse is to say something easy. For example, the party finished. And you think, oh, Natalie told us about finish. Finish is to be over. A very nice phrasal verb. So you can easily say, the party was over. Can you compare? The party finished. The party was over. My tip number 3 is focus on five phrasal verbs and start using them. That's extremely important. Start using them. So normally we have a list of phrasal verbs, and when you start learning them one by one, it doesn't work. It's a mess in your head, so you are confused. What I advise is choose 5 phrasal verbs you do understand very well. You can make your own examples with, and you can start using them, replacing the simple ones. 5 phrasal verbs. So step by step, little by little, you will improve your vocabulary very fast. 5. Then, when you are, it's tip number 4. Let it be tip number 4. Here it is, tip number 4. Add 5 more. What? Phrasal verbs, sure. Plus 5 more phrasal verbs. When you feel comfortable with those 5, and when you see that, I can use them. I can say the party was over instead of the party finished. Or I can say I'm looking forward to my holiday. When you feel comfortable with those 5, make sure it's high time to add 5 more. Because it's always the movement up. Never stay still. Never be satisfied with those 5, you know. So here is my tip number 5. Listen to English songs. There are lots of phrasal verbs in English songs. Make flashcards or motivating posters. That works, that's for sure. My favorite one is Never Give Up. Click on the bell if you enjoyed my video, and subscribe to my channel on YouTube. I teach. See you.